Hello and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary. We are on episode 24. Last episode was our Limgrave recap episode, before we made the decision to either doing the Schiefer Riverwell or traveling forward to do Stormville Castle. If we go for Stormville Castle, that's also going to bring us into a Roundtable Hold episode, which will, obviously be before Stormville Castle. And I've decided the well can wait. I think we will try the well after Stormville Castle. When we came over here, we had picked up a few things. We didn't look deep into them. We have a Nomad Warriors cookbook here. I don't know if we could tell much from the location, but we can tell a lot from this cookbook. The cookbook teaches us soft cotton, stanching boluses, rainbow stone arrow. The Nomadic Warriors cookbook is a technique left by roaming nomad warriors for knowledge, for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. These cookbooks, let's compare to the other cookbooks just based on how they look. The Armor's cookbook. I'm trying to see. Are these... They're covered in blood. This is a missionary's cookbook. They teach you, about holy... 2 fingers. Yeah, there's a Golden Order, 2 fingers, Grace Mimic. Yeah, okay. This one we got Trina's. The teaching of St. Trina is very neat and orderly. This guy's kind of manic and wild. Look at that. The people who are following the fingers... They're looking a little wild. If you follow St. Trina, makes more sense. It's kind of scientific, almost in a way, breaking down the plants. This, Redmane's, it's kind of burned. It's a nice piece of paper, though. But the Nomadic Warriors is kind of bones, spears, it's a whittled spear, rainbow stones. This is ancient knowledge, old knowledge. Rankar pot. Yeah, this is, let's say... There's an utter scarcity. The world, let's say we didn't have any knowledge, and we had only from these cookbooks. We'd know how to make bone arrows to hunt, glowstone and cured meat for dark caves, and to make sure we could cook our food, cooking pickled turtle meat, poison bone arrows, fetid pots, we could take the poison and make something out of it. Beast lore, how to lure beasts to kill them. Lure a beast, shoot him with an arrow. Blood grease, another way of, we're learning more techniques, how to bleed things, poison things. Those could all be very useful. But this is the soft cotton, stanching boluses, rainbow stone. So let's look. In an age of utter scarcity, we would have to make soft cotton. This is made from Roa and smoldering butterfly. And it looks like the Roa has popped. So if we look at a Roa raisin, it looks like, or a Roa fruit. They took the Roa fruit, and putting the Roa under intense heat, and when we dry the Roa raisins, it gets very spiritual, but when in intense heat, probably from a smoldering butterfly, we can make soft cotton. A soft but sturdy cotton formed from splitting open Roa fruit in a particular manner. With heat, it looks like, because of the smoldering butterfly. Attaching this cotton to the bottom of 1 feet allows for a temporary reduction in fall damage and sound, so it makes you quieter, but also reduces sounds of one footsteps, so... You could be sneaky. The nomads are teaching you how to be sneaky. If you must court danger, at the very least, tread lightly. But what's interesting is that not just, now we know how to sneak around and with Roa raisins and soft cotton. Now we can make clothes. Now we know how to make cotton. And we can turn that into stuff for us to wear. So that is important. Stanching boluses, rainbow stone arrow. So stanching boluses, this is for... impeding blood loss, and we need herba, cave moss, land octopus, ovary. So with the great dragonflies that fly through the land, we'd be able to kill them and prevent poison. With the land octopus who feast on people, we could stop bleeding. So this is very important. If I get cut and I'm bleeding a lot, well, we need a land octopus, cave moss, and herba, and that will help us survive. We'll talk more about why would this, in an age of scarcity, would we still have these resources? Well, cave moss grows in caves. The herba grows around the thickets. Yeah, I think we could still pick these up if an age of scarcity came out. I'm thinking like a big winter. That would be an age of scarcity. And the last is our Rainbow Stone arrow. So from Rainbow Stones, we take ruined fragments, and you just ruin fragment. Simple processing. Shines with colors and rainbows, marking them with useful markers. So this will help us make paths. It can also be dropped to gauge distance of falls, and entertain children. And with the arrow, let's make one. We could see, oh, it's making a glowing sound. That's the light. There's probably, maybe there's some soul magic in that. Let's see what happens. There we go. We can mark where our arrow went with a rainbow stone. Just, I guess, rainbow stones at a distance. That would be useful, I think. Oh, also for gauging distance. I want to see if I... Okay, yeah. Ain't no rainbow stone down there. It ain't marking our distance. So, those nomads, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. What sword? Let's go hear this prophecy again and see what she has to say.
Your fingers.
All right, she wants to read her fingers. She's going to read her palm. She's going to tell her fate.
Bless you. Head to the foundation of gold tarnished. Traverse Rhea Lucaria, glintstone eventide, and reunite the half crescents at the grand lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormvale Castle still stands tall.
Okay, so let's break down what she said. So she reads our fingers and she can tell our fate. Head to the foundation of gold, tarnished. Well, we're supposed to seek... Melina wants us to go to the Erd Tree. We're getting beckoned by the Elden Ring. We have to stand before the Elden Ring, become Elden Lord. So the Elden Ring is most likely at the Erd Tree. The Erd Tree, the Elden Ring, that's the foundation of gold. Traverse Rhea Lucaria, glintstone eventide. And eventide, I think, just means the time of evening. So it's the glintstone evening. Well, we know stars is related to glintstone. Rhea Lucaria is that way, so when we get over there, that will be in the academy. To reunite the half crescents at the Grand Lift, well, we caught this from Fort Height. The Dectus medallion, left half split medallion depicting the Erd Tree. Brandish the medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the Grand Lift of Dectus. Well, that's the only Grand Lift we know of, Grand Lift of Dectus, connecting the Altus Plateau to Liurnia. So we'll get to the Erd Tree through the Grand Lift of Dectus. We need the other half crescent. The right half is said to reside in Fort Feroth and the Dragon Barrow, far to the east. So even though we're going to go to Liurnia, we won't be able to go up. We won't be able to get to the Erd Tree until we journey through Caelid. But we're going to journey through here first, and then Caelid. So it's kind of telling us where we should be going. And then she says, the bridge is collapsed, so it can't be crossed. Only why should that matter? Kind of double entendre here. Although the bridge is collapsed, there is a path around the other side. But she's saying Stormvale Castle still stands. So if we want to get to Rhea Lucaria, to get to the Altus Plateau, to get to the Erd Tree, we should journey through Stormvale Castle. And by golly gee, that's what Grace wants us to do too. It's gonna be tough what weapon I want to use. Like I like my big sword, but I like my shield too. What weapons do I have upgraded? And I'm kind of a holy roller. I have faith. And that's less. Isn't that interesting? Oh, because it's C and Dex, no faith scaling. Oh, that's why. Okay. Maybe I'll make another weapon faith. Maybe I'll do my Claymore faith. All right, someone who wild strikes. Swing armament with wild abandon. Hold to continue swinging. So the ashes of someone who is swinging their sword in wild abandon, they died here. Oh, these guys are. So they're blocking the path this way with like a cannon, all these soldiers and stuff. And then if you try to go off the beaten path to avoid them, you're gonna get hit with an ambush. So Godric's soldiers, they do not want you coming into the castle. I guess Sacred Blade is just the way to go because of our faith investment. It makes this dinky little straight sword something, something not to balk at, which is pretty cool. Oh gosh. Oh wait, we're never alone. We have spirits. Try and heal up our wolves. There's something I really like about this like scavenger adventurer playstyle. Our character doesn't look very cool as they are going to eventually. And, these guys, we could run past them, but that kind of defeats the purpose of our adventure if we try to go past all of our adversity. By the time every time we get further into the series, at least for me, this is kind of like a journal in a way of a playthrough. We're going to see how our character changes. I have, oh geez, the gold road is really clear on this, that it's connected to Stormveil. I have ideas of what I want to do with this playthrough, what direction we're going to do when we're going to learn information, what type of build we're going to do, but it's still not exactly clear. There's still some mystery to how will the road take us. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to still follow Grace. We're going to be coming up on a boss fight. This is the Castle Ward Tunnel. Castle Ward, it is the tunnel guarding the castle. Roadway. Yeah, Grace wants us to go say. So we're going to come up on a boss. I have to die multiple times to this boss to get all of their dialogue. We could touch a summon sign and summon Sorcerer Roger. We'll do that. On our winning kill, we'll summon Sorcerer Roger. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first, let's see. Wow. Here's the castle. We're not going to... Maybe we could. Okay, before we come forward. A lot of fighting. Oh. Fighting has happened here. Look at all these destroyed weapons. Spears, shields, swords. Blowing in the wind. The gate is destroyed. Maybe trebuchet. There's gashes in the wall. Dragon, maybe? Dragon gashes? Like a dragon attacked this castle? Look at that. Fire? I don't know, I'm getting dragon. We'll talk more about this castle when we do our Stormveil Castle episodes, most likely. But we could see that there's the brick, and then this is added on top of the brick. So the castle and the gold on top is older. Or the castle's older than the gold that's added. This whole gold stuff, most likely new. These spires, they're the same spires that we see on the graves. I think they're the same to the heroes' graves for Erdtree Burial. We see the banners of the beast. And we know Godric's in this castle, so he's showing beast heraldry. He's showing Sharash. These are all Sharash banners. No Erdtree banners. I'm not saying any Erdtree. See that saint, that sword saint statue? But we're not seeing... I don't see any Erdtree from here. But this is the way we have to go. So let's go.
Tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Okay. All right. This is our first. Whew, okay, this is our first like real boss of Elden Ring. We have to let him kill us, but let's look at him before we let him. We'll talk about his dialogue after this defeat. Margit the Fel Omen. Whenever we defeat enemies, it says enemy felled, like felling a tree. But fell here, I think, is evil. He's the evil omen. An omen is a. Oh gosh, is it? I'm losing my thought. Omen is an event regarded as potent of good or evil, prophetic significance. So we're getting more prophecy work with Omen. So this guy is a Fel Omen. He's an evil omen. He's evil prophecy. The future is not good looking at him. He is a thing that should not be, but will be. His name is Margit. Now, I said actually we were going to talk to Patches, but not going to. We have a fetish bathed in golden magic. Whoa. A fetish bathed... where is it? Oh no. A fetish bathed in golden magic. Shackles were used to bind the accursed people called the Omen. This guy used to be embedded by that... Oh goodness. He's not really as aggressive as I thought he would be. He gives what you give back to him. This one was to keep a particular omen in confinement. This guy, though faint, the shackle remains some of its vestige, primordial energy. We'll talk about it after we fight him. Let's see what it does. No, let's still talk about him. We still got there. He can manifest golden daggers. Let's see him do it, actually. And he does it when we heal. I think it's the same as an Erdsteel dagger. So he has the power of grace. He also had a golden eye. He has horns and a scorpion's tail. He does have digits like a man. You know, I'm getting Crucible from him. He has animal parts, but he's a human. So we see kind of this effect of the Crucible having on human bodies, turning them into animals. And this is, oh, geez. Damn. And he has this gold magic. We know that Beast Blood is glinting with gold. The Erdtree's primal energy was the Crucible, the primal vital energy, and that was in blood. So yeah, this guy is like really gold up, a lot of gold. And it must be because of that Crucible power. That's why he has all this gold power. He has this ragged cloak. And he was holding under confinement. Now, we don't know why they're under confinement, but people see these and they see a bad prophecy. They see an ill omen, a Fel Omen. Things that should not be. Damn, he's tough as hell. All right, let's let him kill us. And see what he says.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
So when we first met him, he said, "Foul tarnished, in search of the Elden Ring, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Someone must extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fel." So this guy knows we're tarnished, and he doesn't like us. This is where a great rune. There is a great rune in Stormvale Castle. A shard bearer. Grace wants us to get that shard, but this guy doesn't want us to. He's stopping us. He came in with this golden magic. Is he like a protector of the Elden Ring? He doesn't want the Tarnished to come to the Elden Ring. He doesn't want Tarnished to have great runes. We know from our spell, Divine Fortification. Follow the path that has been set for you. The path is following guidance of grace. And you will make enemies of all others. The monks, the sorcerers, the ancient dragonites, and the scions of gold. Heed me. The lands between offers no welcome to the Tarnished. So this guy is opposed to us as being a tarnished. He says we're emboldened by the flame of ambition. If we remember from Dragon Communion and the fires of torment of wanting more and more and more, that's what ambition kind of is evoking. So as a tarnished, we have a fire inside of us, and that fire is ambition. Someone must extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fel. And seeing how all those there's dead all those let's go fight him again. Since there's all that all of this like warriors have died here, I'm thinking it's because this guy did it. We're not the first tarnished to come here. And he's trying to kill us. And he's killed many before. So let's try the shackle on him, because he used to be in confinement. Ancient Erd Tree Sigil. The power of gold takes him down. Yeah, he does not want you to heal. He knows. He's a smart... He's fought Tarnished before. He knows what you guys do.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished.
Okay. We're in his second phase, and he has more golden magic. A giant hammer. And we're going to talk about his dialogue after we get out of this phase resist. So we're going to let him kill us and see if he has anything else to say.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
Okay. That was it. So, well, thou art of passing skill. So he says that to us because we didn't even get him to 50%. But other Tarnished have tried, and they have not succeeded. So we are of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in our veins, Tarnished. So we must have the blood of warriors. Perhaps he is talking about the first Tarnished, the Godfrey, Horalu, who was banished by America after his wars finished up here. We got to read this, but we didn't get to really investigate. Sent down to the Third Church of America, sent to the Church of Pilgrimage. Perhaps he's saying, you must have the warrior blood, one of the tarnished warriors that was with Godfrey when they were exiled. You must have that blood. That's why you got that dog in you. That's why you're able to get me that far. We're going to summon someone else. So this person's most likely tarnished because they left down their rune using their tarnished furled finger. Let's look at this guy. This guy's Sorcerer Roger. He has some interest in this castle and he wants to help people. Let's look at him. He's kind of gold, so it's hard to see, but he's got a glintstone staff at the edge. Maybe he's trying to get to Liurnia. He doesn't know about the other path around the side. That makes sense. He's trying to get to Liurnia, so this is the way he's going to go. Cool hat. All right. And we are going to summon... Godric soldiers suck. We're going to summon Oleg, who will attract the notice of the grace-given Lord. Alright, Sorcerer Roger, Glintstone Pebble, Magic Sword, or Magic like buff, whatever it is. Alright, we're gonna use our Shackle when he does that. Oh, I guess I can't. Oh, we can't use his Shackle after he gets into the other phase. He's too powerful for the Shackle. Killing blow. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Oleg. Margit the Fel. disappeared in a golden mist.
I shall remember thee, tarnished, smouldering with thy meager flame. Cower in fear of the night. The hands of the Fel Omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Okay. So, Margit the Fel Omen, who seems to have this crucible connection and this power of grace and gold because he gets some of these magical weapons and apparently appear out of nowhere with it and still survive after being killed. He was bound with this shackle with ancient Erd tree magic because the symbol we saw. Shackles were used to bind the accursed people called the Omen, and these ones were made to keep a particular Omen under strictest confinement. Well, we can see why. Margit the Fel Omen is incredibly powerful. Though faint, the shackles still retain vestiges of power, enough to trap the once-bound Margit on Earth, if only for a short time. And we were given to this Patches. We bought this from Patches. So Patches knows about this Fel Omen character. Perhaps he was able to slip past him and steal his shackle. He says, after we beat him, he says, I shall remember thee, tarnished. All right, Margit the Fel Omen, we will see him again, and he's going to remember who we are. So the next time we see him, he's going to know it's us. Let's cover our face so he doesn't. I don't think that'll work. Smoldering with thy meager flame, that flame of ambition. Cower in fear of the night. We should be afraid to journey at night. Well, that's when the spirits are out. The hands of the Fel Omen shall brook thee no quarter. The hands of the Fel Omen. Well, so far at night, the only thing we've seen are deathbirds, spirit jellyfish, and Knight's Cavalry. Are the Knight's Cavalry the hands of the Fel Omen? Are they his knights hunting down Tarnished at night? Knights. Night Slayers. We had the Where is it? Oh, we have another talisman pouch. We'll talk about that in a moment. In the meantime, let's put that on. Why not? A talisman depicting a hammer and a knight. Hammers are fire effective against shield-bearing foes, so much that they're known as Knight Killers. So, yeah, I think we're going to make the connection that when we see Knight's Cavalry, that's Margit the Fel Omen. And we also got a talisman pouch. Let's look at it. There's a little symbol on the middle. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Kind of reminds of a cross, maybe. A uterus, a tree, I don't know. Well, it's in that little circle. It's threaded in some way. A small withered bag knitted by hand. Okay, knitted by hand. A lot of care was put into this. Bestowed upon the ruling lord, or those attempted to become lord, by the elderly finger reader. So we got this from Margit. Did he take this from someone? Or was he given it to him? Small withered bag knitted by hand, bestowed upon the ruling lord. Is Margit the Fel Omen the ruling lord? Or is he attempting to become lord? We are attempting to become lord as a tarnished. By the elderly finger reader. So this was whoever Margit got this from, this was given to that person by the elderly finger reader. And he got it from a lord. Or someone attempting to become lord. You know, we have Oleg, the grace-given lord, noticed the wings of the storm. And they sent him out, attracted the notice, the grace-given lord, having slain 100 traitors at the lord's hand, Oleg earned the... Was Margit, like Engval and Oleg, was Margit the Fel Omen seen by the grace-given lord as someone to protect his lordship? That makes sense to me. How else did he get it? Either he killed the guy who had this, or it was given to him by that person. And he has gold, he has grace, he was in prison, so the banished knights are also banished. So I think we could say maybe the grace-given Lord broke Margit out of confinement and then gave this to him because he's the Fel Omen. Fight in my stead. Kill the tarnished for me so they don't become Lord. Grace-given Lord. Yeah, okay. We're gonna work on that theory. The theory we're working with right now is the grace-given Lord freed Margit, or when Margit was freed, you know, maybe he didn't free it, but when Margit was freed, the grace-given Lord took him into his like, hey, you're gonna do work for me, okay? Even though you're usually trapped underground, for me, you're gonna kill my enemies. As the voices for the two fingers. Now, Elderly Finger, we met her Finger before, and she could see the future. She doesn't have eyes, she has soundless spells, she does spirit magic. As the voices of the two fingers, which is part of our religion, we are two fingers faithful. We have our finger seal. Spirals on the fingernails. Where was I? As the voices of the two fingers, finger readers are said to live lives eternal. Okay. The only other eternal we know of, Marika the Eternal. And now the finger readers are said to live lives eternal. Those ones without eyes. And we have the Elden Rune, King Consort Radigan. This is an eye. Okay, alright. Probably a connection between Marika and the finger readers. Marika the Eternal. Finger readers are said to live lives eternal. And one is even supposed to have served as a wet nurse to royalty. So, a wet nurse is essentially a woman who will breastfeed another person's child. So she's breastfeeding of royalty's child. And the only royalty we have so far is, I think, we have Queen Marika, King Consort Radigan, and we also have the demi-human queens, probably not demi-humans. We have the Karian royal family as well. Karian royal family, if we look at our... Queen Renala. So was she a wet nurse for Queen Renala of the full moon? Probably not, because the finger readers are the two fingers, and that's kind of like Elden Lord stuff. That's kind of like Erd Tree stuff. So mostly Queen Marika. So the elderly finger ruler bestowed on a ruling lord. Maybe it was bestowed onto Radigan, King Consort. Was he a lord? Elden Lord Godfrey? Was it bestowed on Godfrey? Wet nurse for royalty. Could the grace-given lord be a child of Radigan? Child of Godfrey? First Elden Lord, second Elden Lord, golden lineage. Well, the golden lineage is Godric. He's the last of the golden lineage. And he's over here, not at the capital. He had to escape the capital. So, who did he escape the capital from? Probably the grace-given lord. He's probably the grace-given lord. Okay. Yeah, that seems to make sense. Alright. This episode's going to be a little bit shorter. Because next episode's going to be a little bit different. This is the Margit the Fel Omen Grace. Let's take a seat. Oh, it's our friend Melina.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to see whether or not grace truly does guide you, and whether you are fit to face the challenge that entails. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Round Table Hall, gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
Wow, okay. So we can close, and I think we can come back, or we can go to the Round Table Hold. Her hair's kind of pink. Pink hair. So we haven't seen Melina in a while. Last time we saw Melina, it was when we got an echo of Marika at the Church of Pilgrimage, I believe. She said, oh man. She said, oh man. Sorry. She said, "Forgive me, I've been testing you." Okay, so this is... Everything up to this point has been a test by Melina to see whether or not grace truly does guide you. So she doesn't know. She is only assuming that grace was guiding us. She couldn't tell. She gave us the strength of runes, though. We share with her our thoughts, our ambitions, the principles that we would follow, and she made us stronger with the strength of runes. But she was just challenging us to see if grace truly does guide us. Grace does guide us. It's pointing us to go to Stormvale Castle. It also told us to go to Weeping Peninsula. She says it's the grace of the Erd Tree in a previous dialogue, and that it's the Elden Ring is beckoning us. So she wanted to make sure that the Elden Ring was truly beckoning us. And whether you are fit to face the challenge that entails. This is going to be a very challenging journey. This is only the beginning. She needs to make sure we are strong enough. By defeating Margit the Fel Omen, we are strong enough. It seems her worries were unfounded. We are up to the challenge. She shouldn't have worried. Torrent had your measure from the very start. Now that's interesting. She says, Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. Torrent's former master wanted us to have the spirit calling bell, as per Ren of the Witch. So Torrent led Melina to our Tarnished. So whoever Torrent's former master is, that means they have an interest in us. Now we know there's a prophecy for burning the Erd Tree, because we chose the prophet class. And we know that we are kind of part of that prophecy. It's part of the prophecy. We can see the future. We know the prophecy. Is this person Torrent's former master, who brought Melina to us, who led Torrent to us, who Torrent chose? Do they want the Erd Tree to burn? Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas merely pretended. She was pretending the whole time. She didn't think we actually were fit. She offered us an accord even though she didn't think we could do it. But Torrent had our measure. And she says, when she first gives us Torrent's ring, she had the ring. She could summon Torrent. Instead, we can summon Torrent. She gives us the ring so we could do it. And she says, treat him with respect. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect. So we should, our trusty steed, he's much more than he meets the eye. He is the reason for this journey. He's the reason why we survived, because Melina gave us the flasks to seek the Elden Ring. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Round Table Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions guided by grace. So she can take us to the Round Table Hold. This is where tarnished champions gather, who were guided by grace. She has to take us there. We can't get there on our own. She can only manifest at grace. We don't see her anywhere else in the world. I have a feeling that this Round Table Hold is connected to grace. Vare, I think, wanted us to get an invitation to Round Table Hold. So we're going to have to see what they say after we go there. So let's go to the Round Table Hold.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
This is like when we level up. We have to give her a hand. And with hand in hand, what changes? Wow. The Round Table Hold is a place where tarnished gather, guided by grace. Combat is prohibited on the premise due to the Pact of Non-Aggression. Oh, there's a Pact of Non-Aggression at the Round Table Hold. This rule is in effect when the Round Table icon is displayed. The Round Table Hold is located outside of this world, and fast travel by grace is the only means of reaching it. So only people who can interact with grace can get to this Round Table Hold, and Melina brought us to this place. Wow. This is going to be a big episode when we explore the Round Table Hold. And what do you look at that? Rest at a table of lost grace. Well, when we're in the Round Table Hold, we can't really do the thing. I guess the best thing we could do is this. Alright. You know the drill. Let's do the thing.